Thanks for checking in with Jane Knows. Today I have Tyler, and he's got a really interesting question about leadership. Tyler?
Sure. Thank you first, Jane, for having me. So for so long, we've been running a company that's been 3, maybe 4 employees, and very much I've had to be working in the business as an employee, taking care of day-to-day tasks. But now I'm starting to see myself transition into needing to take more of a managerial role and to help the other employees. So my question is, how do I transition from being an employee working in the business to more of a manager working on the business?
Well, that's a great question, and it's one of the toughest transitions that people make from being a peer and an employee to being a leader in the business. And I'll actually say even more than manager, becoming a leader in your organization. There's a lot of ways to describe what you need to do to be a great manager or leader, but let me just focus on one. And I think the first thing that you need to do is sort of look outside yourself to the people that are working for you. When you're an employee, you're very, very focused on your own tasks, what you need to do to be successful, and it's a very much an inner focused exercise. When you move into a leadership position, you need to sort of have this broader view of the world, and you need to stop looking at yourself so much as to the people that are working for you. And they can really understand what their strengths are and their weaknesses are, and how you can really make them become more successful. So I think the key transition really is one from being inner focused to being outer focused.
And then I do have a follow-on to that, and that is, many of the people who are employees at an organization, we've been kind of working in parallel together as employees together. But how do you change the perception in a smooth transition to becoming someone who's more focused on what their needs are as a manager or a leader, as opposed to being their peer as an employee?
Well, that's actually really a great second question, and really probably the more tricky piece of it, because when you're peers, you have developed a certain relationship which needs to change to some degree when you become the leader. What I would say is the most important thing to do there is to make very clear expectations, because what you want to do is make sure that the people that were your peers that are working for you respect you and want to work for you, and it's easier to do that if you define what your roles are in the new world versus what they were before. And I think it's also really important to not become too self-important. A lot of times when people get promoted, all of a sudden they feel they need to be a different person than they were before. You don't have to be a different person. I think you just have to have a different perspective on how you relate to issues in the company. So leadership is one of our most important topics that we want to talk about on Jane Knows. So we've got questions and we've got answers on janeknows.com.